Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Magic Partners Live. We are live in Disneyland today with Chase. How you going, Chase? Finally back in the parks. Woohoo! And tell us what you've just been on, Chase, and what was the experience like?
I was on Rise of Resistance, man. It was so exciting. I got the whole thing on video.
Yep. And apparently you were live streaming on TikTok this morning. How did that go?
I went live for my very first time on TikTok this morning while I was eating lunch because I was starving.
Yeah, fair enough.
They didn't seem to mind. It's not like I was chewing with my mouth open or anything. But it went really well. I had 2,000 likes on.
Wow.
And that's, like every time they tap. So it's not like you get one. It's like if person mashes it, it's awesome. It was so much fun. And it was perfectly clear. I was getting a great connection. So,
yep.
Yeah, I've been pretty happy so far.
Yeah, fantastic. And talk us through what happened. So, how was the drive this morning?
The drive was actually pretty smooth.
Yep.
I got up. I set my alarm for 12:45 this morning, but I ended up waking up at like midnight, and I was just like, you know what? I'm awake. There's no way I'm gonna sleep 45 minutes. So.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
I got up and I took care of things, and then by like 1 o'clock I was on the road.
Yep.
And it was actually really, really smooth. I was fine. My dad called me once he called at like 5 o'clock, and he's like, "How are you?" And I said, "I'm fine." I said, I was at the end of Arizona at that point. I was not quite to California, but it was at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, "Go back to sleep, Dad." I was like, "Geez, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Go back to bed."
For sure.
So I got here. I hit some traffic on the way. Once I was in California, and I was well into it, and I was kind of getting close. Hit some traffic, pretty crazy traffic. Because they'd narrowed the lanes down to like 1 or 2 lanes. And then I got to the hotel right around 8, and they said, "We have your room ready." So I was able to check in and get all taken care of, so I don't have to worry about doing that today.
That was great. Yep.
And it's a gorgeous room. It's really simple, nothing fancy, but it's still beautiful. And I haven't been on a Disney property in a long time.
Yep.
So it was just fantastic just to be there. Everyone was super nice. That's, I expect that whenever I'm around Disney cast members. They're just amazing people. But yeah, this Rise of the Resistance is the first ride I've done today. We spent a lot of time at the restaurant this morning, and then we got called for our boarding group. So I was like, oh wow, this is going to be the first thing that I do today.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. So you did get on a boarding group, and that's about to change over at Disney World, isn't it? Or it has already changed, where you don't have to, you can line up for the ride. Actually, yep. So
So September 23rd.
Yep.
When that happened. So that to me just suggests that Genie Plus is right around the corner. I mean, they're either going to drop it at Disney World first, or they're going to drop it all together, and we're going to start seeing that, because that will most likely mean that instead of, you'll have the standby if you want to wait in standby, or you can pay the little extra price that they have or whatever and go in the lightning lane. So the fact that Disney World is doing that and not Disneyland is very interesting. But, this worked out really, really well. My friend was able to get us a boarding group at 7 o'clock because I was still on the road. And so she had an alarm set and was ready to go. And, it was group, I think we ended up being 107. But they got us in like right as we were finishing lunch. It's like, you're all ready, be here by 12:30. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening, people, it's happening.
About time. And it's been December, was it December 2019 you were last there, or was it early 2021?
I was
2020, should I say?
The last day I was here was February of 2020. It happened to be the same day that Kobe Bryant was killed in the helicopter
Oh
accident.
yes, yeah, that was a sad day.
Yeah, I drove in on that same fog that his helicopter couldn't get through. So that was it is very scary driving through it. I can't imagine what it was like flying through it. So
yeah, absolutely.
But that was the last time I was here, and I was with some friends of mine from Arizona, and we found out we were right in front of the Matterhorn, which was apparently his favorite ride. So
right.
It was just
spooky.
Very much a coincidence.
Very much so. So, what I really want to know now that you're back in Disneyland is what the experiences are like, because we did have some new things, the Magic Key, which you would have used to get into the parks today. I'm just wondering, at the experience of the Magic Key, did you get through? Was it an easy experience to get through the front gate? Did you have to line up in a separate line? Talk us through how the Magic Key has worked for you so far.
Oh, well, it was a piece of cake. I mean, I didn't even have to. It was easy to get my reservations. It was easy to get in. Like, once I went in, she had me just open up the app, found my key, scanned me in, and I was in. There was quite a long line. I sent you the picture of that. I was like, I definitely don't miss this. Because there was a crazy line outside, which is like, that's what you expect on like reopening day, to see those kinds of lines that are where almost California Adventure and Disneyland are almost touching, where people are standing in line and it's almost touching. That was pretty crazy. But at the same time, I got in, and it was just so, I can't even describe to you how amazing it was to be back, to smell everything, to smell popcorn and churros and everything that's good in this world. I can't even describe it. It was so perfect and so amazing. And just to walk down Main Street, it was really, really busy, because not only do we have today is an Oogie Boogie night. Unfortunately, I don't have tickets, but it is an Oogie Boogie night, so California Adventure will be closing early. But it's also, I believe, this is the weekend for Gay Days, so we've got that going on. So it is a little busier today, but it's a beautiful day here in Anaheim. It's sunny. There's a little bit of a breeze that you feel. It's probably about 75, 76 degrees out. I couldn't have asked for like a more perfect day. And the fact that I got on Rise of the Resistance it just makes this like the best vacation ever.
And so today you've just been into Disneyland, not over to DCA as yet.
No, I haven't gone over there yet, because we just crossed 1:00, which is the park hopper. Now it's active, so I can go over there, and I probably will in a bit, but I have to hit the Haunted Mansion first.
Yeah, definitely. We're great to see that. Are you going to what are you sort of live streaming, so everyone knows, so they can watch on? You're going to be on your Facebook, also TikTok, of course, a fair bit, and also is that the two platforms you're basically coming up to? You are coming up to your YouTube channel as well, aren't you? DisneylandToday.net.
Probably mostly my Facebook, but then also my TikTok, because those guys really pulled through for me. They helped me out. Without them hitting, that follow button, I wouldn't have been able to live stream. And I tell you, I just went live for probably, half an hour or so, maybe. And I ended up getting like another, probably about, I'd have to say 40 or 50 people following me after that. And so what I've heard is that they say the first 1,000 is the hardest. That's the steepest climb. They said after you hit that, it's all downhill from there. It's like, and that's proving to be very true because now I'm getting follows like crazy.
Yeah.
And so by the time I was finished with my lunch, I have over 1,100 followers on TikTok.
Wow,
which is
that's
just
fantastic.
Blows my mind.
Yeah, that's great.
It's very exciting.
and a good platform to come up to. So, so Disneyland for you now. What do you think is your plans in the future for Disneyland? Do you think you're going to be here once a month, or you'd like to be over here once a month?
I would like to see that. Definitely, will try. It's a little bit more difficult now given my situation at home and all that. But I would still say, no matter what, as long as I visit about 5 times, the Magic Key will have paid for itself, and will be and I have a year to do that from today. It's not activated. When I got it in August, it was activated from today. So September of next year.
Oh, okay.
So I'm really looking forward to doing that. I'm hoping to. I thought about getting the holiday tickets, but I decided against it because someone's like, it's $165 for 6 parties,
right?
And only 4 hours. To do it.
Yep.
So but again, it's like.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, it was like most of the stuff you can probably see without having to have all of the parties. You'll be able to see the Christmas parade. You'll be able to have all the food and treats. They will have so much food, which reminds me, I totally need to get cotton candy because I love cotton.
And when Genie does come online, your Magic Key will be able to get you into your room at a Disney Stay hotel, I'm gathering, and do lots of different things. When
I'm not sure how it'll work with a Disney property. Usually, I never stay at a Disney hotel. There's only 3 of them. So I usually never get to stay on property. I make day trips and I'm there and gone. So this is like a very, very special occasion to be able to do this and make that kind of a trip. But I will be here today and I will be here tomorrow because since Oogie Boogie is, kicks everyone out who doesn't have a ticket so early, I wouldn't be able to see anything with all the lights. So I was like, this will be my opportunity because tomorrow is not an Oogie Boogie night. So I'll be able to stay and look at all the amazing lights at DCA and be able to see Avengers Campus all lit up. And that was the big thing that I really, really wanted.
Yeah, so you're going to be taking some photos and putting them up onto Instagram as well, so folks can see your journey there as well. I just wanted to talk about a few things that are happening around Disney and get your comments about them as you're there. The first one being this little treat that happened over here, which was over in California Hotel, Grand California. This happened last time Halloween was there, and it's the Oogie Boogie cake that's there. Have you been over there to take a look? Because I think it's all up and running, and that is definitely something to see.
Yeah, that looks amazing. I haven't been over there actually. I haven't even had a chance. So by the time I got in here, it was probably 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
By the time I got into the park.
Yep.
So, you know, I haven't been able to really have the chance to explore everything that I've really wanted to yet. It's just, you know, it's amazing being here just in general.
Yeah. Yep.
So, you know, being back at, you know, seeing all the food and everything, and I want to try like one of everything. Just, so I would love to, I mean, I would love to see that. That's like super cool looking. If that was like something edible, oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's actually a sign up to tell you how many pounds of eggs they use and all that sort of stuff. So,
that's like the you know, the Halloween gingerbread house is just like, I mean, like, what was it, like 200 pounds of gingerbread is like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, absolutely. That was awesome. We did talk about that last week, in the fact that they take months and months to get that ready, and I'm sure Oogie Boogie was taking them many months to get ready as well. Also, there's been a lot happening over in Disney World this week. We saw Bryan travel through a couple of things. One of them was the Fab statues are now in the park. So, you know, Bryan took us over there to take a quick look this week. And the statues, they look bronzed, like when...
He's getting all rained on.
Yeah, that's Florida this time of year. Here we go. So this is now the statues live in the park. They're looking as if... I guess they're a little bit bronzed. They're not as shiny as I thought they were going to be, but... geez, they look really nice, don't they?
They treated it with something like probably like a brushed. It almost looks like a brushed bronze instead of like it when they showed them in the originally. They were like bright, shiny gold.
Yeah, they were, and the pedestals look really nice. They're in that the colours for the 50th anniversary over there. It's getting really close now, isn't it? You know, it's very close to October 1st when they're going to launch all of this. So it's going to be huge over there. What sort of, like you mentioned this morning that the crowd levels were pretty full on in Disneyland. Would you say sort of comparable to what it was but when you were there last time, you know, before the pandemic, or it's kind of busier, would you say?
I'd say that's a pretty fair estimate. I mean, I was here in February, and now, like, I've seen some pretty manageable some lines. Like the first thing I got in, you know, and like I said, it was about 10 o'clock when I got into the park, so it was probably like I passed by Star Tours and it was a 5-minute wait. So, I mean, I don't even remember the last time I saw a 5-minute wait on Star Tours.
On
Usually
anything.
It's like, you know, 45 minutes to an hour. You know, and so, like, I think we're still looking at probably 60 to 70% capacity.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. So when they open up the floodgates and let the international when international travelers start coming back to the park, you should see that the parks are going to fill up a lot more than they were pre-pandemic, because I guess a lot of people are sort of dying to have a good time over in Disney, and so when the floodgates do open up and things, you know, settle down a bit, we should see some huge numbers coming out to the park. I can remember in 2019, I don't know if you remember, they were closing off the parks and not letting any more people in, even pre-pandemic days. We were talking, you know, they'd put up signs at the front gate saying they weren't going to let anyone else into Disneyland for that day because the park was just, you know, over capacity kind of thing. But with the registration for the parks now, that should manage that sort of situation a lot better. But I'm just wondering your thoughts on whether the registration will cause people to be disappointed in time to come. In fact, that they can't get a reservation on a specific day. What's your feelings on that?
So far, I mean, I've been following other YouTubers and streamers who say they've got their magic key, and so far I haven't heard anybody complaining like it's been consistently a problem getting a reservation. So I don't. I mean, it was super easy for me, and I didn't have any days that were. I didn't see anything that was sold out. I know that the reservation pool for key holders is separate from people who buy tickets individually.
Yeah.
So it's not from the same thing, which is probably, what they were trying to fix from the original annual passes,
Mm.
because I believe they were from the same pool.
Yeah.
And so now they've separated it out so that, it doesn't affect anybody who's trying to, pay for a regular ticket instead of an annual pass. So,
Yeah.
which I think is a good idea.
Yeah, and in the past, well, always, in the past and now, Disneyland's been a park for locals, hasn't it? I mean, you'd say that most people that are in the parks from day to day are local Californians, and they would be people holding most of those magic keys. So would you say that sort of as the magic keys are separated, would you say that's a sort of to help locals come back to the park in a way that it's almost guaranteeing them holding a magic key coming back into the park? Do you think that's one of the reasons Disney may have done it?
It's a possibility, just to keep it from making sure that they have the available dates if they've paid
Yep.
for that specific type of key.
Yep.
And the only one I've only heard one person ever say anything like right after the keys were made available and they got their key. There was only like the first, or just maybe like the first couple weekends or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
they'd already been sold out for key holders, even with the dream key, which is the highest tier.
Yep.
So I guess that was just that short period of time, but they did have an instance a couple times where the amount of passes at the California level, the ones that, which I believe, I want to say is the Imagine key,
Yep.
sold out for the day or the week or whatever. They couldn't sell any more of them, and I'm thinking, you know, if you're gonna get, if you're a California resident, it's like, why not get the Dream Key?
Yep.
And because you're so close, the Imagine Key is, has that great deal for Californians. It's only available to them. It's like, I want to say it's like $3.99 or something like that.
Mm.
But it's so blocked. It's so blocked out. It's
Yep.
like you're you're almost not able to go at all.
Yeah.
So I didn't
Yeah.
quite understand that.
Yep. Yeah. It's interesting that, isn't it? And I mean, of course, you can still buy a magic key even if you don't live in California, which is like yourself. So, um, would you suggest that if people are coming from out of state, like yourself, or from internationally, to actually purchase a magic key, so that they not only get into the park every day that they're there, but also they get the discounts on merchandise and also in the restaurants? Or would you say it's a good way to guarantee yourself park entrance through the reservation system, separate magic key registration system?
I don't know if it's a guarantee, but I'd say the best recommendation I have is for anybody coming out of state, who's, just look at what it would, try and check out what the prices would be for your family to go on that one trip, and then kind of look at what it would be for the magic key, and find out if it's really going to be worth it for you. You
Yep.
have to kind of do some math and think about it and find out if that's going to be a good value for you, because if you don't plan on coming very often, then it might not be worth it to do the keys. You'd probably be better off just getting, um, when it comes out, just getting Genie Plus,
Yep.
and then doing the extra stuff that you don't get to do very often, and then get to the front of the line in those lightning lanes and do that instead of getting a full out annual pass.
Yep. Yep. And what's it mean to Disneyland Today.net, your site, now that you're back in the parks and experiencing exactly what's going on? Do you think that'll change the way you sort of report on what's happening at Disneyland now, because you're actually in it and living it? Do you think there'll be, more sort of different content going up there because of your experiences in the park?
I don't know.
I know it's a
I
hard
haven't
question,
thought about it, actually.
but I mean, now that you've actually been able to experience, say, Avengers Campus or Rise of the Resistance, it gives you a better insight to write things, do you think, and report to us what's going on? I mean, it's been such a long gap and a lot of heartache for you not going back to the park. So do you think that, that'll really help you write, from experience, is what I'm trying to say.
So kind of what you're asking is, like, now that I have a little bit more experience of how it works,
Yep.
How the magic key works, how
Yep.
the doing articles that kind of follow that. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I could definitely, do a lot more stuff on, the fact that it's really nice. Like, I did a mobile order for my lunch, which worked so smoothly. It was
Yep.
perfect. I placed my order. I was standing in front of the restaurant and I said, "I'm here." And in literally like 10 seconds, it's like, "Your
Wow.
order's ready." And I was like,
Oh my
"Wow,
God.
like, this is awesome." So
Yep.
I went inside. You have to mask up indoors. So
Yep.
I masked up indoors and then got my lunch. And when I paid for it on the mobile app, it applied the discount from my pass automatically.
Yep.
So it was nice and smooth, and it worked out really nicely. I was very happy. So
That's great. And what's your plans while you're in Disneyland? I mean, what do you plan to do? Like, are you going to, say, a fireworks show? Obviously, you're going to go into the haunted mansion. What else is something that you need to tick off your list while you're there? Do you think? What is the list, and what do you need to tick off?
everything.
So obviously,
Everything. No,
yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's. I'm listening to, the Mark Twain in the background, and I can, see it when it comes down the rivers of America.
Yep.
I might do a TikTok stream from the Mark Twain.
Yep.
And then just, I have to go on the Haunted Mansion because it's the holidays, so I'm probably going to film the stretching room and do the whole thing, because I can't wait to see the gingerbread house and all that. It's so awesome every year to be able to see the Haunted Mansion holiday, and that's something that's unique to Disneyland. Walt Disney World does not get that, so we've got kind of like a one-up on them. And I will probably also be live streaming It's a Small World, of course, because no one sends me what to stream, so they get It's a Small World.
So, folks, make sure you tell Chase what you want to see, because otherwise you're going to get that song rattling through your head over and over again. Yeah, it's my daughter's favorite ride, and she wants to go through it over and over again. So
I love It's a Small World.
Yeah, you have to. The kid inside just loves It's a Small World. And during Halloween, there's also a light projection onto It's a Small World as well, which you can see at nighttime.
Yeah, so you can watch the parade. I mean, not the parade, the fireworks from
Yep.
You can watch them from Main Street and see the projections on Main Street. You can be right up by the castle. They project on the castle.
Yep.
Or you can be in front of It's a Small World, and it will project onto the facade of It's a Small World. Now, of course, there are different benefits from being at all those different spots. So if you want to see everything on Main Street, which looks really cool, get down right in the middle of Main Street and stand there. If you want to get the castle has its own really unique projections, and of course it's got the Jack Skellington balloon, and also Zero flies over the castle, which that's going to be your best view if you like the Halloween fireworks.
Yep.
But then in front of It's a Small World, you can still see the fireworks, and it projects really well. It looks really nice on the facade, so that's a great place to view it. But you can also go into Galaxy's Edge, and even though you won't hear the music, you can see the fireworks right over the spires, and it looks amazing.
Yep.
So if you don't mind missing out on the music, you can get a heck of a fireworks show over the Black Spire.
Yeah. And talking about fireworks now, I just wanted to go to this, which is a look at Harmonious, which is coming to Epcot over there at Disney World. Harmonious, we've been waiting a long time for this. This is going to start when the 50th celebration starts, October 1, and it's going to be sort of a look at the World Showcase through Harmonious, and this looks absolutely fantastic. It's the first time we've really seen, we've been seeing the barges for a long time sitting around the rivers in America there, but we have not seen anything from the show, and this looks like it's going to be something absolutely spectacular. So if you're looking for a good fireworks show, make sure you head over to Disney World to see this new Harmonious show. And Chase, one thing that Disneyland always did had over Disney World, which I kind of didn't understand, is that the fact that they were not projecting onto the Main Street buildings during their fireworks shows. That's something that Disneyland has been doing for quite a while now. But that's all going to change very, very soon with the new 50th anniversary show over there at Disney World. They're going to start projecting onto the Main Street buildings for the first time. And yet at Disneyland, when you're watching a fireworks show and the show sort of surrounds you by projecting onto the buildings, I believe it does for Halloween as well. That is something very, very unique to see that projection as well. So yeah, it's interesting that they're finally doing it over there at Disney World, but I would say that to get over there, the 50th would be something magic. Now, I know Bryan from Bryan's Magic Life will be bringing those fireworks shows to us. So what's your plans for tonight? You're going to stay in Disneyland tonight, obviously, because over there at DCA, they're going to be in the middle of Oogie Boogie as well. So you're going to come over to Disneyland to see the fireworks tonight? Is that your kind of plan?
I might do that. I might go see it. Usually I tend to use times that the fireworks are going on to go on the rides because the lines are super short.
Yep.
So getting on like Pirates in the Mansion is usually my go-to attractions while fireworks are going.
Yep.
So who knows? I might do that, and then because I know on the weekends they have the fireworks, but during the week it's just the projections and the music. So yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah. And what time does Oogie Boogie Bash start over there in the park? So what time does it close over there in DCA for Oogie Boogie? Is it 6 p.m.?
They're closing at 6 o'clock for everybody except if you have a band.
Yep.
So
Yep. And what time from today can you park hop? Like you've got to wait for a specific time till you can park hop, don't you? Is that the case in the parks at the moment? So you have to wait until say 1 o'clock until you can go over to DCA, or can you travel between the parks freely as you want?
If you're referring to like the park hopping, you can
Yep.
do that once 1 o'clock hits.
Okay.
So
Yep. So
yeah,
yep.
so 1 o'clock. We're past that now. It's 2 o'clock. So I could go over at any time, and I want to try and do that soon. I want to head over there and see Avengers Campus
Campus. Yep.
and really, take that all in, because now, I'll probably hit a couple of things here first, because there are attractions that I really, really want to see here. So I really want to see Snow White, since
Oh
it's been
yes.
converted
Mm-hmm.
to Enchanted Wish, and I want
Yep.
to make sure that I see the Haunted Mansion. And these are all attractions that are over here. So I believe I'll have plenty of time to be able to see everything over at Avengers Campus. But I am so excited about that. I'm hoping to see some. Um, I'm hoping to see, maybe we'll get Shang-Chi,
Yep.
Spider-Man for sure,
Yep.
um, stuff like that. So I've been watching some interesting videos on TikTok of some people who have been really interacting with the characters, and going up and saying, hey, they're talking to Thor, and they're like, Spider-Man did an impression of you, and he's like, oh, can you tell me the impression that Spider-Man did of me? And so she was having to do an impression of Thor as Spider-Man would have done it for Thor. So
um.
it was, and he loved it. So, but I also have to go over there because of the the store over there, that Marvel store that they have over there. I think it's like stage 17.
Um.
They've got Marvel Apple Watch bands, and I have to
Awesome.
get one.
For sure. And so I'm just going back. So if you start your day in Disneyland, you can't go over to DCA until 1 o'clock. Is that the situation? Can
Yeah.
you can you start your day in DCA and then move to Disneyland afterwards? Do you have to choose?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can choose either park,
Yep.
but I was like, I want to go on Rise of the Resistance. I want to try and get that 7 o'clock, boarding group, and so I was like, if I'm gonna have the best chance, it'd probably be to do Disneyland first, and then go over to DCA,
Yep.
um, and then who knows? Maybe I'll try for it again. Maybe I'll try for it again tomorrow. But tomorrow morning, I have breakfast reservations at Goofy's Kitchen for a character
Awesome.
breakfast.
Oh, fantastic. That'll be awesome. Lots of photos
Yeah.
in that one. Just rewind back and tell me what Batu was like walking in after a couple of years, and tell me the crowd levels. Tell me the feeling, whether it's changed, whether it felt any different, whether it felt like just going back home for you when you walked into
It,
Batu.
it all came flooding back to me, because the friend that I was with, who came out with me today, she was with me the very first time that I went into Galaxy's Edge. And so this was, the first time being back at Galaxy's Edge after the park closed. And so it was kind of like a, nostalgic kind of moment, because walking back in there after being gone so long is like, it's like going back into your best friend's house, like it's just like been forever. It's Everything is so familiar, and the sounds, all the sounds that you can hear, and seeing the marketplace. And I still have to go back there and see if I can find my cast member friend Martin, who's just an amazing guy. He works in the marketplace.
Yep.
And so walking back there is just incredible. And now the fact that I've finally been able to get on Rise of the Resistance, it kind of completes the whole experience because, whether you kind of realize it or not, if you don't get a boarding group and you tried so hard and you were there like at, before when I tried, there was no 7 a.m., 12 p.m. You only had park opening.
Yeah.
And that was it. And for them to be able to have this now and be there, if you didn't get a boarding group, it was kind of miserable going over to Galaxy's Edge. It's like, why am I even here if I can't ride Rise of the Resistance?
Yeah.
It's like, it's
Yep.
kind of, it just was like, it put a whole downer. And I was just like, there was one time that I went in there and I was like, I don't even know why I'm in Galaxy's Edge if I can't ride Rise of the Resistance, because it's one of the ones, the attraction that I really, really wanted to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is absolutely true what they say. It's, you can watch video after video after video, but until you're actually riding it, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yep.
It is the coolest experience. I mean, you're whipping around on that trackless ride vehicle. You're going backwards. You're spinning around in circles. You're like going forward, going back. And it's just like, it is really, really amazing. Unfortunately, while I was on the shuttle, this really, really tall guy stood in front of me and I couldn't get shots of Beck, but
yeah,
I was like, dude, your head is like right here.
Please move. This is my first time. So after you've been on it, can you tell me best ride you've ever been on, do you think?
Oh yeah, hands down.
Yep.
Hands down.
Absolutely.
That is such a amazing. I mean, I don't in a video, you don't get a really, you don't see the depth of where you are compared to these characters. And I was in the front row of the vehicle, and you get super close to Kylo. It's like, in that scene where, he's got you in that room and he pulls you forward and you get pushed back and he pulls you forward again. You are really, really close to that animatronic. I mean, it is amazing how like realistic it looks. And then, you finally see that lightsaber go through the ceiling and you're like, holy cow, that looks so cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
and you're really close.
I can't even tell you like how amazing the effects are on there. And it's just like, everything about the attraction. Like, I know everything. I know the entire script. I know what everything is. Like, I even knew what was going to happen in the pod bay. I was like, it's coming. And then I was just like, I wasn't expecting it. And it is a solid drop. And it's so much fun. I was like, this is amazing.
Oh, that's good to hear, because I know you're a bit of a scaredy bear sometimes. So it's good to hear that you were.
As long as it's not like, Mission Breakout Tower of Terror drops, which it's not. I'm like, I'm A-okay with this.
Yes. So that's really good to know. So if you're a little bit timid of thrill rides, then it's good to know that, you got through it fine and it didn't phase you at all with the drop. Because that's really the only part of it that is, I mean, the whole ride's a bit of a thrill, but it's the only part where it's really thrilling in the whole section, So it's good to know that you handled it well, and that, most people who do steer away from thrill rides can still go and Rise of the Resistance. Would you say that's a fair assumption?
I will say this, like, with one of the things, like just the scene where you're in the escape pod and you're escaping and you're able to, crash landing towards Batu. That in itself, that tiny little scene is so much better than Smuggler's Run. That little tiny thing is better than the entire Smuggler's Run attraction, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's so much cooler and so much more realistic looking to do that than it is watching the entire flight of Smuggler's Run. And that, I guess, I hope you for those of you who have been on both attractions now, maybe you know exactly what I'm talking about, but it is like night and day being on that attraction compared to Smuggler's Run, because it's like, this is completely, Rise of the Resistance is completely immersive, whereas it's like Smuggler's Run is like you've got a job, and you have to focus more on the job than you really get to do on the ride.
Yeah.
And so, like, as an engineer, and somebody pointed this out, and I'm like, you know what? That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Because if you're an engineer, and I have been an engineer once at least, because I did a single rider line which bypasses everything, and then you get on the attraction, and it's like they give you an engineer. You don't even get the chance of being a pilot or co-pilot. And the whole time, you have to watch that little light like flash and press it and just button mash. You can't watch what's going on the screen. You can't see the jump to light speed. You can't see them shooting the tethers. You don't see a single thing. And it's like, I think this attraction is so much work, you don't get to enjoy it.
It's I get you.
And I've heard that comparison now in more places, now that more people have had a chance to ride it and go through it, and the fact that it's not we don't have alternating missions, it's just the same mission. So I mean, it's going to be different based on your pilot or co-pilot, because they'll either do a really, really good job or a subpar job. But
I've been
otherwise.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, basically, I mean, you're only going to really get to experience the ride if you're the pilot or the co-pilot.
Yeah. I think that's true. It's an interesting way of looking at things, because I've only been on the ride a couple of times, and I was the pilot or co-pilot, so I was in the ride, I was watching the screen. But it's interesting to know that the gun, like if you haven't been on the ride, the gunner and the engineer are behind, and you're right, they're just staring into a panel waiting for things to happen. And your ride also depends on the pilot and co-pilot. You're so right there. And if they're strangers to you, you just it makes it difficult to really see what's going on in that ride. So it's an interesting concept. One question I had for you, now that you've been on Rise of Resistance, and we've talked about this a lot, how do you feel about the immersiveness with Galaxy's Edge now? After being on Rise of the Resistance, does that immersiveness seem to improve for you? Looking over the whole land now that you've been, does it make more sense now that you've been on Rise of the Resistance, I should say?
I think that they were still, I mean, even we were supposed to get the most experience out of the new land from having ridden Smuggler's Run. It seemed like it was like they were supposed to interact with us based on how well we did with the Falcon. And it's like, okay, because everybody could get on that. You wouldn't have to worry about a virtual queue. And so it's like, so everybody had an equal chance of being able to get on Smuggler's Run and then interact with some sort of character who said, hey, you owe me this much money, or, you're on a bounty list and I'm here to collect on that. That would have been so cool. That would have been amazing. And so I think they lost out on a huge opportunity to do so much more. They can't even put the Bad Batch or anybody into Galaxy's Edge. It just wouldn't quite make sense. But the fact that we have gotten almost every new character over at Avengers Campus with like Shang-Chi. And even like for a short time, they had Black Widow's, snow uniform and all that. They are taking um, every chance that they can get to put out their characters. They're doing that, and
Yep.
now, of course, if you're able to do Oogie Boogie, you'll get a chance to see Agatha Harkness, and
Yeah.
she is just amazing.
Yep.
I've seen the video of her several times, and she is so much like Catherine Hahn that it's uncanny.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like Disney did the best casting for
Yep.
Agatha Harkness, and they just need to keep her as a permanent addition to the nighttime experience of Avengers Campus, because
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
she's incredible. And I was like, why wouldn't you use this experience to show her to the crowd and really let people meet her, because she's able to do some great ad-libbing. I love what she's been doing with some of the people who come in Wanda costumes. She's really been interacting with them, and it's funny.
Yeah, so it's interesting to know. So you would have to say that even after writing Rise of the Resistance, your attitudes to the immersiveness hasn't changed by the looks of it. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'd say I'd say to that, I'd say, for if you're talking about immersion just as an attraction itself,
Yeah.
it blows you through the roof. But as Galaxy's Edge as a whole, they missed out on so much opportunity.
Yep.
So if you want to just look at, the queue, everything in the queue, I was just snapping pictures like crazy.
Yep.
As I was going through that queue, because there is so much attention to detail from the way that the walls are carved out, and the gonk droids, and the containers of thermal detonators, and the suits and the blasters and everything. It's so incredible. And then, of course, being in that room, that pre-show room with BB-8 and Rey, my jaw was hitting the floor. I was like, this is so incredible.
Yeah.
And and then, of course, you go back out and you're like, man, I could spend my whole day just walking around in this attraction. It would be so cool.
Yeah. So you feel like when you come off, you just want to go back on again. You could ride it definitely
you do.
over and over again. Yep.
If I was going to be stuck in an endless loop of something, I would be stuck there. That would be
Yeah.
That would be my endless loop of being on Rise of the Resistance nonstop.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So again, let's say this. Let me ask you this, should I say. If Galaxy's Edge opened up the timeline as Avengers Campus is, and didn't follow one specific timeline, but allowed any character to come in to Galaxy's Edge for any timeline, similar to what Avengers Campus is doing now, do you think that would change the immersiveness of Galaxy's Edge?
Yeah.
Yeah. You think that's the way
they have
can solve
so
things?
much room. They have so much room to be able to do that. So, no matter where you walk, there's you can use the app to participate in stuff. You can use it as a scanner, and you can
Yep.
hack things or look up the language of something. It's already, it's there, but the fact is that it's so limited. It's all like, okay, I've already hit the ceiling, so what's next?
Yeah.
And it's just so the next big thing is that you get your interactions with the characters, but because of course where we are at the pandemic, that doesn't happen as much as it used to. You won't get the stormtroopers walking right up to you, and you'll see them and then they leave. And so unfortunately, just due to the times that we're in, that's severely limited.
Yeah.
But, you know, we'll be able to, I'm hoping that, we'll be able to get back to that point.
And being that character dining is now back, I don't know what are the I mean, obviously you're going to find out tomorrow morning, but as far as you know, what are the interactions with characters for dining? Do they come up to the tables, or in character dining, you're still seeing them from afar?
Well, as far as I know, like they won't come. Uh, like they won't come right up to you and like probably hug you, but they'll probably come around to a point where you just stay in your seats and you can wave to them and you can
Right.
talk to them,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll take a picture a lot like they do in the parks where you're at a socially distance,
Yeah.
but you can get like great pictures. But it's not like it's not quite to what it was like where you could actually go up and hug a
Hug them.
character,
Yeah.
or they'd come up behind you, cover your eyes, and then peekaboo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not like that anymore, but at least for now. But I think it's still just the fact that they're there
Yeah.
and they're able, and they visit every single table, no matter how old you are. If you are, like me, and you're a 42-year-old guy who like is eating his Mickey waffles, then they're still gonna come over and say hi to me.
Yeah, absolutely, which is great. And is there any indication when that sort of thing with the character dining and also in the parks is going to change? Do we have any indication as yet whether we're going to be able to hug characters or take photos close to characters with meet and greets, etc.?
I don't know. I don't know if when that will change, and when we won't have to have these social distancing,
Yep.
measures in place. Hopefully hopefully it's soon, and we can start, hugging our favorite characters again.
And from your experience today, do you think that has changed the way you feel about the parks? The fact that you have to be socially distanced from the characters, or you just happy to be back? You're not too fussed about that.
I think, I've seen people and how they, you're still able to, wave to them. I saw one of the cavalcades, which was really, really cute. And it was a great way to see the characters in sort of a very, very, very mini parade.
Yep.
But it was fun. It was still got to see the characters and wave to them, and they were still relatively close. So yeah, I mean, for someone like me, it hasn't changed because I usually view the characters at that distance anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But it will be something special for a child to be able to go up and hug their favorite character again.
Yeah,
So I'm hoping
absolutely.
that comes back soon for them,
Yep.
because that is a very important part of their vacation.
Yeah, for sure. So we've been talking to you for about an hour now, and I don't want to keep you too long. I know you've got so much to do in the parks, but I just really can't wait. I'm guessing you don't want to go home, but really can't wait to talk to you next week when we bring the show back and just have a look through all the photos that you've taken and really let us know what the experience is like once you've seen everything, including Adventures Campus. But Chase, thanks so much for being with us today and coming to us live. I know time is precious when you're in the park, so we really do appreciate, and I'm sure all the viewers do really appreciate the fact that you've been with us today on the channel. And just before you go, we've got a little message from a new subscriber here. She just subscribed and she wanted to let us know. So here she is. So I'm not sure how I say her name, but I think it's Sarah. Here she is up here. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for the subscription. We'd love to see you guys watching, and we want everyone to subscribe to the channel because we're coming at you every week with things like this, live at the parks, with Chase. We also are live at Disney World with Bryan from time to time, and we're always here every week talking a lot of Disney. So thanks once again, Chase, for being with us today. Really great to see you in the parks, and yeah, fantastic to see you there. So we'll see you next week where Chase is going to tell us all about his experiences. Until then, guys, we're going to see you real soon. We've been Magic Partners Live. Catch you later, guys. Bye.
Thank you.